Okay. Well, welcome. This is a segment of Jeff's train world. I've got to figure out a way to get this video over to my other channel. So there you go. Part of my problem is I don't know how to work YouTube. So anyway, found out something interesting today. Okay, as I was playing around, with my cars, I had heavy cars on here. All right. So here's the thing. I found out one thing. It seems like if I put weight in it, some of them will stay back on the track. See, part of it is they float. I don't know why. I mean, I kind of do. These hooks right here, I want to put in some cars. And this is what I'm talking about as far as uh, cars. Now the problem with these is the wheels are small. Um, I've taken a bunch of these apart, send gauge, and put metal wheels on them. And one of the biggest problems I have is like this. These wheels right here are what I want, not the little black ones. Um, so what happens is when I go to put these trucks together, it's kind of a pain. The way it's going to go is I'm going to pull a car and make that one car will be the main hookup car for these engines. Now, here's the problem with the engines. All right, in order for me to change this out, you see that? Oh, that's weird how it's got that truck right, the coupler right there. In order for me to change this thing out, I have to take this whole thing apart. And I'm not going to do that. So my idea is have one car have the same truck or the same coupler as this does, and then on one end. And then what I would do, like this, have one regular to hook up to the engine, and then the other one will be one of these. Or where is it? One of these. The new ones. Part of the problem is I've heard it from a lot of people. Hey, how's it going there, Walnuts? How you doing? Welcome to the well, the Dutchman's Wood Shack / Jeff's Trains. Jeff's Train World. I'm not really doing any turning right now. Keeping low key on there for a little bit, um, but yeah, in order for me to change all my engines out, which I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got too many engines. I got like 10 or 11 of them, and I'm not going to go through it, and it's a pain. This whole unit has to be taken apart. I know somebody said you don't have to, but I have no clue. If anybody knows how to do this stuff, let me know. Because they're really small. It's hard to see, I know. If you look at the couplers, we can see this. There you go. There's springs in there. You see that? Okay, see the problem with these right here, they bend. All right. The new ones don't bend, supposedly. Hey, Shanky, welcome. Yeah, really. Hi. Hi guys. Anyway, that's one problem. Okay, the other problem is weight in the cars. Now, these cars don't have a lot of weight in it. So the idea is to put some weight in it. So now you can take these and pop them out with a little mini screwdriver and pop the bottoms out. So you can buy weights for them. They do have weights. I don't even know if I have them, but here, if you're a fisherman, what I would do is take a bunch of weights and put them in this, and that'll keep the car down on the track. Now, what I've had problems with was when they go over the switches over here. And these switches, for some reason, when they come around, they'll pop off. And it's not that my switches are on or off, and there's nothing wrong with them. Although these things right here, there's little burrs that stick up, like right there. Okay, so, and the other thing about these N-gauge things, they're a pain to put on here. Now, these are black wheels on here. So I would have to take and change them. They're smaller wheels. And I'm finding out those make a difference to go on the track. So I think I got them on. What happens is they go over a part of the switch right there. You can feel it. Wants to ride off of it, right in here. Right there. See, if I go this way with it, it doesn't like it. If you go this way with it, it doesn't like it because of the little hump in there. So what I've had to do is take this on my Dremel tool and sand it down a bit, or a cutting tool, and it does work pretty good. But the problem is too, is that the bottom here is so small, the wheels are small, that it rubs on this stuff, on the body. So that's where they put bigger wheels on it. These trucks are much different. The wheels are bigger. You get my drift? So what you do is you pull, I don't know if I can get these off. You pull these little pins out. That's what's cool about this, is I could pull the pins off. Maybe. You kind of have to get underneath it a little bit, but you pull the pins off like that, see? Now don't list your pins. And this truck goes back on it in place of it, like that, see? Gotta make sure you put it the right way though. Now the other thing is trying to get it back in. Yeah, see, I can't even get my fingers in there. So what I've had to do, that's what these are for. See, that's the problem with doing this stuff. It's so small. And so putting them in the hole, and sometimes it's a pain, but I get it. Just like that. See, that's pretty good, right? And then you can take this off and do the same thing there. Now, the difference between the two trucks is to see how small those are compared to the other ones. I bought a whole bunch of new ones. And so what I've done is basically taken the old ones off and save them for backups. But you have to jack the body up. These metal ones really work better. Now, if you want to take the bottom off, all you have to do is get in here It takes a little bit of doing, but you can get in here and pop it out. I can see which way the stupid screwdriver goes. Anyway, they do come out. Okay, so um, the idea is to get that loaded up with some. You can buy metal pieces, metal plates for this, but I highly recommend that if you've got the same situation I do, highly recommend putting weights in that. Um, it does make a big difference. Now, see, some of these trucks are bigger, and that's the thing about buying these cars. Okay, some of these, this one's bigger, all right? So now this one I have to take and replace the deal in there. But what I tell people is, again, you have to look at the size of the wheels. Even though those are black, they're much bigger. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put these over here. Now if I can find it. Nope. Hang on, I'll be right there. Oh. Somewhere in here about center. There you are. Okay, so these are the middle ones. Hey, walnuts. Where you from? Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. I've got a setup. You know, it's funny. I'm working on these, and I have to wear a set of glasses, you know, reading glasses in order to do it. and it's not so bad, but um, you need to have smaller hands. That's the problem. I don't know how you do it. I'm amazed at watchmakers. I know a guy that makes things in town. He's a jewelry maker, and watching him do his work is just amazing. Because you know, I mean, I'm not nimble. I turn things for a living, and I'm a woodworker. So when I'm doing like a small piece of something, no matter what it is, it's a pain. Uh, let's see if this works. See, that's the other thing. These do pop out really easy. It's just getting them back in is a pain. Um, there's real pins right in here. They got to go. I actually want to pay somebody to do this. Hey, you want to come out here and do this? There's a buddy of mine that he works on a lot of what do you call it, equipment, technical equipment. He puts together these laser things, or kit. His name is Kilroy. Yeah, Kilroy's Woodworking there. If you look it up, he's on the internet. But yeah, I've known the guy for a while. He does a really good job. He's putting together a what do you call it, a USS Enterprise, I think, out of that stuff you do for laser art. Anyway, yeah. And I looked at it and I go, wow, it's amazing. The laser art that he's doing is just crazy. It's I'm getting there. Jeff, how come I can get one in and I can't get the other one in? Maybe I got that one in. No. See, that's the problem. I can get one in and I can't get the other one in. See, it's all cockeyed. And you're right, I need the glasses. But some of these trucks might not work on this either, so. Anyway, got the idea. And you want to take them off and work on them because you can't do them on there. It's a pain. Now, the other thing is too, I have all these little nails. They're really small. They're like this, real small. And I'd say that's about a half an inch long, right? The pin. And that pin has to go in these tracks. But unfortunately, it works on this board to a point. But what happens is, I have a special nail punch. It's got a hole in the middle of it, kind of a hole, an indentation. So it's like this, except when you take it, tack hammer, barely touch it a couple of times, it drives it in. Well, this is not bad. It's a real thin wafer board that you would use for, like, if you're putting down it's an underlayment for putting down tile on, so it's not bad. Luan, I call it, or Luan, what do you want to call it? This stuff that I put on there is actually, it's not styrofoam, but yeah, it's styrofoam wafers, and it's not bad, except you have to use these things, these pins here, to pin the track down on the foam board. Okay, so that's what these look like. They're like little wing nuts. The wing nut putting it on. And what I usually do is I put the track in place, then I take this stuff and I glue it. I've learned not to use brass pins because the heads are too high. That's the other thing. I've taken about 80% of my, I think 70% of my brass pins that are like that nail and pulled them out because guess what? They're too high. And it holds it in place, but the pins aren't worth the crap because unless it's a flat head like a regular nail, it won't hold it down. It'll hit the engine will come up and hit it every single time you go around. Been there, done that. Everything that can go wrong with my track has gone wrong. Between this, oh yeah, by the way, this is Atlas. I don't like them. They're terrible. Unfortunately, I already put the track together. I've had nothing but problems with these. Melting, these things fried because of these things. I got to get different switches on it. But the point is, I'm not happy with them. Now they came out, go figure, with the new set, which is like in a plastic, it's all pre-molded stuff. The problem with those is they're longer. For one, it throws my track off. I brought one home one time, I had to take it back. All the switches are bigger, lengthwise, and there is a left between a left and a right because there's more to one side and the other. And I get to the point right now where, like, and I could probably eliminate this because I took the track off here. I was having issues with it, so what I'm thinking about doing is actually taking these two switches out of here completely because it's a pain in the wheel. So that what happens is if I eliminate this, I hardly ever use this track because there's no wiring to it right now. There's spacers up there. I got that taken care of. This one over here, I thought about this. I left myself enough room to put another section of track around here and just follow this and go into, I don't know. So it got to the point where the whole thing is driving me nuts. It's just, between the cars coming off for no reason and then them going over the switches. If you go one way, if you go this way over the switch, it doesn't work. You go this way, I'm fine. So hi buddy, what's going on there, Jason? Nice to see you. Welcome to the nut farm. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out stuff. And I'm telling you, if I have HO, okay, so if I'd have done this layout in HO, I probably wouldn't have all these problems. The biggest problem I have here is that the layout is so small. So it's kind of hard to deal with getting parts for too. That's the other thing. So you kind of get to the point where um you just go on, you start working on other things on it and just say call it a day. I originally started working on well, I got one in. I originally started working on wiring for my houses, but then I had an issue on one of the houses. And then the lights kept going on and off, going on and off. My switches. And then go, what did I do wrong with the switches? Now I have stopped on the switches because um I figure I want to get the track running first, right? So I can't run my trains. Won't do me any good to have lights if I can't run my trains. Nope. Can't use. So yeah. So what's everybody up to tonight? Anything besides watching me screw things up? Why are they going in there? Huh. Maybe this thing is not meant for that track. I don't know. Did I get it in? Oh, yes, baby. I got it in. How about that? How long did it take me to fence around with this? Okay, so now I'm putting that back on. Make sure I got it on the right way first. Okay, got that on there. Yeah, so I bought a bunch of those wheels way back when, and I don't know where I got them, but I got them in a package. And if you're gonna change cars or anything, I think it was I think it was before Amazon. That's how long ago it was. I've had this train layout for 20 some odd years. I just decided one day just basics. I never had on the mountains or anything. I've been working on that off and on. So there we go. So now that makes a bigger difference. Okay, makes a bigger difference. They stay on the track because they're taller. So there's a lot of cars in here. These are cheap cars. I don't know where they come from, but whenever somebody buys you a cheap car, beware. Look at the wheels on them. If they're black, don't buy it. If they're black and the weight, they should have a weight in here, don't have weight in it. Here's another example. This one doesn't have weight in it either. It's missing a truck, but I have to work on that. Now there's another one for you. Okay, so this is these trucks are too small. Again, see the wheels on them? They're small. What do I do with my? Okay, the problem with these wheels is they set on the track too low. So my problem has been when it goes over stuff like this, it hangs up. So again, you have to take one of the trucks off, and that's what I've been doing here is I've been playing around with the cars as they go back and forth. Okay, see that's smooth, right? But when I get to that right there, you see that? It stops. Now, why does it stop? And this is the part I had to take and videotape, figure out why it's stopping. It's because when it comes into the plastic here, these things, it hits the side of these things, right here. So, I don't know if this is on or not again. If these are out of whack at all, see that goes that way? I'll tell you what, too, I wish I'd gotten manual ones. That's the other thing. I wish I'd got manual ones. I wouldn't have this problem. Well, it is now. Okay, so, oh, gee, I do both woodworking, all right, and this is my other hobby type thing that I do. And yes, it is woodworking. You got to lay this out. That's the thing. It took me a while to figure this out. There's a lot of guys that don't have a lot of open space. They just use strips of plywood like this, and then build the. And I had to do this. It's not easy. Okay, so the pitch for this track going up here, I had to get the pitch right. You have to. I have all this documents on literature and what the pitch should be, what the dimensions of the circles, the circumference should be. In there, when I built that, there's a lot of, you can't see it from here. One day I'll take a picture of what it looks like on the inside, but it's you had to build it up on plywood, and then I've got some foam board in there too. Same thing with this. Yeah, and the way you design it, now I could have been a little bit different. Instead of having a sharper corner, I could have had a curved corner. And this is where I didn't know what I was doing. Okay, this is where I wasn't doing things right. Hey Jay, what's going on, buddy? Nice to see you. If you guys haven't subscribed, subscribe to me, because then whenever I do something, whether it's this or over in the woodworking, you know. So whenever I'm doing stuff on here, you got to be careful a little bit. Now, I use plaster Paris on this, and there's two things I tried experimenting with. One was drywall compound, the fast setting stuff, and I used that up there, but it didn't turn out to be the way I wanted it. Right here's a crack. It took forever for it to dry. Not a smart move. Then on the top over there, and right in here, these mountains are got that blow-in foam with foam with a can. And what I was doing is I was putting the blow-in foam, and then I was putting plaster Paris with paper towels over the top of it. Well, that was fine and dandy, but guess what? It cracked. So if you try to put any kind of pressure on it, you're screwed. It'll break away. So I'm just leaving that the way it is. The top part, I did a little bit differently. I put the foam in, and I put a real thick layer of mesh over the top of it. It works fine now, so I'm not worried about that. I still have to finish coloring it. Now, there's going to be a forest here. The idea here is a forest ranger lookout tower right here. There's a light in there, there's a light in here. I've got a light in here too, but I have to hook them all up. I haven't done it. There's the resort, the chalet, as you would call it. Down there is going to be a little bit of a restaurant or a chalet too, but I've got to figure out a way to make a bridge over to that. Eventually, the river is going to have water in it, not resin, resin type. And up there, I'm going to have like it's going to be all forest, pine trees, but fire station, okay? This will be the Forest Service fire station. This will be the like a heli base for a helicopter, because I do have a helicopter. There's an outhouse up there too. I have an airplane and a helicopter too. They'll fit this layout. At one time, I wanted to put gondola across, but I can't find it. I know HO's got it, but can't find it in Engage. So in my head, I don't have it written down. Okay, to people, I can tell you, if you're going to do this, start small. I would take a small door, like you would have, like a 32-inch door, but flat, what they call a Luan door. You can buy those cheap. A lot of times you can go to like the reusage store and get them cheap. The hole where the doorknob goes in, you can plug that. Now you can get four legs from Lowe's or Home Depot or Menards and put them on the bottom, and there you guys got a table, right? Then you can take and put your track on top of it. Now they do have kits, all right? They have kits. Okay, so some of this stuff I in here is kits. Here, I'll put this over here. Some of this in here is kits. So you could get these kits, and this is Flick Track. You could get these kits and put them together. All right, it's pretty cool. I keep finding junk in here, so I don't know. Yeah, but you could get these kits. They're small. A lot of times when you buy the engine, when you buy a little car kit, they give you that. They get a small, like this. Then you get, this is the kind of transformer you get, which is cool. The only thing is, okay, my controller here is that's a lot more expensive. Now, this is an older one. It's probably 15 years old, 10, 15 years old. And it's a dual control, so I can run both these engines at the same time. Now, one will come out down here on this end, the other one will come over on the other end. Now, here's the problem. When I come through here, sometimes I lose a car. If I lose a car, it's because there's something in the track underneath that one hole that bugs me. This one up here doesn't do it as much. Now, like I said, these are my problem childs right now. Until I figure out how to get this done, um, don't know yet how I'm going to switch out wheels or what it is. But they ride low on the ground and they won't stay in one spot because every time the top one up here they may, but the bottom one they don't. And every time I go over a switch, they always seem to come off. And these cars are too low. I don't know how people, but the wheels on it are small. So I should put this thing on a rotating thing. But, see, and then what I do, the left or the right side is or the left side is that. The right side is this inner one. I got to remember which one's which. I always get it backwards. When they have a problem, that's what happens. And then you reverse it. Now, you don't want to go too fast because you'll flip the cars out, definitely, at least in this one. So what do you think, guys? What do you think? Now, here's the idea. In the future, I'm making videotapes and I'm putting them on Jeff's Train World. It's Jeff's Train World, HOO and Engage. Jeff's Train World, HOO and Engage. That's my other channel. Right now, I only have 14 subscribers. I need 50. I need 50 to open it up and do a live like I'm doing a Dutchmans Wood Shack. People ask me, well, it's a wood shack. Why are you doing this? Woodworking. Hello. I made this. I'm putting the switches in here. Okay, see, I'm making this. This is the switchboard for the lights. I have a red light that'll be going on here for the fire department. Everything that's red that's in here will be fire department use. The yellows are for the two lights, the one for the fire tower and the castle. I'm going to put a light in the tunnels, and then all the road switches will be on one. All the road lights will be on one switch. All the crossing guard switch lights will be on another switch. So now this is where it gets complicated. You're like, and you're trying to figure out stuff. Now the idea is two wires. You got one wire goes to one side, one wire goes to the other side, right? And there's a positive and negative. Okay, so what you do, and this says track and this is accessory, and you want it on the accessory. So one goes one way, one goes the other. When you're switching, okay, so the idea is whatever you're switching it to, one wire should go straight up to that, like for instance, the castle. That's one wire. It's a series thing. Then the other wire should come back down it should go from here to the switch, and then from the switch up to the castle. And then from the castle down to here, and then down to the switch, I guess, and then down to that. I don't know. I'm confusing myself. This is what happens to me, see? I got a picture in my head. I just can't. I fool around with this too long. I don't know about the brute engine, but I got one for you. I bet you don't have this one. You have the big boy? Who's got the big boy? Isn't it, puppy? See that? That's pretty cool, isn't it? I got this for Christmas. It's not cheap. It's awesome. Best engine I have. It's awesome. But the problem I have, though, is it's got so many wheels on it. I think there's like 20 wheels on it. I kid you not. And putting it on a small track like this, you're almost better taking this train off and putting it on here. There's a thing right here where you can put it on. I've got one down there too, but it's So this was a good engine too. But here's the thing: you got to keep up on your engines too. You got to make sure that you oil these things and keep them clean because they stick and they're very hard to get loose. Now, I have to design me a track. I have to take a track like this here and make a test track out of it. And basically what you do is you have this down, you have an end here that hooks up to something like this, and for the track side, and when you instead of running it on here, you put it on here just to get it to go because they stick. And I have oil and everything in here for this stuff, but you got to keep on top of it, and you can't. You got to be real careful where you put the oil too. So I learned that from the lady at the girl behind the counter over at B&G Trains in Elgin. So now, two things with this. Most I can only do here is these 5 cars, because if I put any more on, they come off. And it's kind of peculiar, but see, again, it's the trucks, it's the couplers on the trucks. And in my opinion, it's easier just to buy the trucks with the couplers on it than it is to buy the couplers by themselves and try and replace it by hand. It's just, and it's no difference price wise. So, well, I'm out in Illinois. You're in Silmar. Are you in California? I used to live. I used to live in California years ago. There used to be up where I lived. There used to be this huge place that was a model train. It was actually an overall hobby shop. It was pretty good size, but it doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, and I'm finding out all this stuff. So if you know anybody that does trains, tell them to come to me. Send me a message. And you guys are interested. If you'd like to see other things than just trains, let me know. I'm looking for suggestions. So anyway, I'm going to let you guys go because I'm going to go take a sabbatical for a little bit. And I'm thankful you guys are watching me. Again, I'm looking for people to have onto a StreamYard as a side-by-side guest. And we can talk about whatever you do. If you're a crafter, whether it doesn't matter what it is. I'm big into crafting. It's not just woodworking or model making. I do have RC cars, by the way, down there. You can see them. Sorry about that. So, excuse me. If you guys are interested in anything suggestion-wise, give me a shout out. Add it, to comments, questions. I'm encouraging people to do it. I'm going to do some challenges. Okay, so here's the other thing, though. I have a week to go of being free to do whatever I want. After next week, I'm going to be down for a while because I'm having hip surgery. So that's going to be like 4 or 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks down the road before I can move down here. That's what they're saying. I don't know. I've got a bunch of stuff to do before then. So anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. Wish you guys a happy weekend. I know it's up on Friday. Free for all, fun, freaky Friday. I don't even know if Friday counts anywhere because everybody's off on Friday. So it should be Thursday. Get off and you all get drunk. Oh. Anyway, thanks again for watching. And one thing, be creative. Do something. and make something. But one thing's more important than anything else. Do it and have fun. Be happy. Be happy. Don't worry. That song. Anyway, take care. God bless.